Welcome to EFT MBA Mastering Business Acumen with the help of EFT business experts. Learn the marketing, mindset, and skill set you need to create the EFT coaching practice of your dreams. Visit www.eftmba.com for more information. And now, here's the EFT training team that embodies the art and science of EFT. Alina and Dr. Craig Weiner.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We've got a juicy topic for you today, which is how to do all this business stuff on a shoestring budget.
That's a great topic.
It is. And so let's talk about why we would want to, why the need for this. I mean, there are so many ways that you can spend your marketing advertising dollars. Why even get into this idea of coming up with strategies for shoestring?
Well, you know what? Before we even do that, just what we recognize from having worked with so many of the MBA students is that they don't have a lot of budget. They're starting with not a lot of capital. A lot of times this is people's second or third careers. It's not like, they purchased a franchise and they set aside $10,000 in capital or something like that, and it's kind of a business.
Right.
So often they're starting off just with what they got. The money that they went toward, learning, training, certification, all those things, and now they're getting started and there's not a lot extra. So they're looking forward to the point that they have, a marketing budget, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, no, I actually, I want to just kind of underscore what you just said about certification and training, because we really feel strongly that really good, solid EFT certification where you have a mentor, you have oversight, you have case studies, you have ethics to review, all are very important part of the process. And so we believe in investing money there. However, you're done with that, and then you have all these options, and many of them cost a great deal of money. And what I've seen in working with my clients who are EFT coaches that are struggling with this is I know students that have spent and practitioners that have spent thousands on sponsored events, thousands on websites, thousands on print advertising, and very little to show for it in the end. So this might be a show on shoestring budget marketing. However, it is part of a successful marketing strategy that I employed when I was broke. And we're going to have a whole other show on how I did it when I was really broke. But these are things that have really worked, and we've seen them work over and over and over again. So they're tried and true, and they require very little money. So let's get started. Okay.
All right, great. So we want to go over what are some things. You're on shoestring, low string, no string budget. You wear your sneakers with Velcro, extra shoelaces are on the expensive side. What can you start doing that's just like minimal cost? And, ultimately the marketing is just about creating connection. Right? I mean, let's just get down to the nitty-gritty of it's about creating connections with people so that people find out more about what you do. It hooks them, it intrigues them, just to the point for them to be able to inquire deeper into, what do you do, and what's that look like, and how can you help me, and how much does it cost, and all those things, right? So all this is a way to create a conversation. Right? Whether it be in person or online or however, on phone, whatever that connection and communication is happening, that's all that this marketing is setting it up to do. It's not the final sale. It's basically creating that connection and bringing them in. So let's keep it really simple at first. When you meet somebody in public, when you somehow connect with somebody face-to-face, and they don't have a way to be able to remember your telephone number, your website, you want to hand them something. Now, I'll be honest, not too many people keep sticky notes in their pocket that then work really well, right? I mean, it might, but they get crumpled. They don't work so well. So something harder that might work better is a business card. Duh, right? I mean, that's not brain science. But a lot of times people get intimidated by business cards because they think it has to be fancy and expensive, and so they just don't do that for a while. Well, they're not. I mean, if you go on to the most recent Vistaprint, you can purchase 250 business cards for $12.99. If you don't have $12.99, then you might not be buying shoelaces either, so we're going to hope that you got $12.99 to get some business cards.
Yes.
Now, you want to make sure that those business cards, we talk a lot more depth in the MBA program about that, but you want to make sure the business cards are appealing. You want to make sure that they have the right information, that they turn the person on but not turn them off. You want to pull it so it has intrigue and contact information. And basically what you want to do is create opportunities each day to have a face-to-face connection that you can hand somebody a business card. Imagine if you just created enough opportunities once a day to hand out a business card after 250 days. What's that, just a little over 6 months, right? Am I calculating, whatever, 6-7 months? No, it was more like 7 or 8. Oops, bad math. Anyway, so when you do that, that's 250 people that you've connected with and given a business card with, and that would be an exceptional way to start. So creating your business card, being able to hand it to them in person. I don't count sticking it up on a bulletin board.
No.
That just gets buried. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying it's about the least effective way to market yourself possible. Yeah?
Exactly. And like you said, there are some things to put on the business card and many things to leave out. More times than not, I see business cards that are way too cluttered, give very just bad information. If you and then you see and why we want you to be cheap about the business cards printing actually is because you're going to have things that come up. You have numbers that change. You have email addresses that change, that sort of thing. Addresses, if you're going to have that on there, which I don't really necessarily think you need. However, I often see a business card handed to me that has a line across it, a handwritten little thing on it. It just leaves a bad impression. So just print these out cheaply because you're going to change it as you develop your niche. When you get more clear about your market that you're targeting, all of these things will have an influence on how you evolve your business card. It's evolving, just like a website evolves, just like you evolve, grow, and expand. So the first batch you shouldn't spend very much on, and you should make it a goal to hand them out before you even get your website out. Your website is much more detailed, it's much more costly, and this is something that you can do. And like I said, do it cheaply, connect with people, hand these out, have white space on it, and so that's just the easiest thing to do. You could do that today. So let's go to number 2. Number 2 is to schedule free talks. So contact organizations that are looking for presenters, and they are constantly looking for speakers and presenters. There's Rotary, there's Lions, there's the public library system, there's a community center, there is a senior center, and all of those places are constantly looking for people to come and talk to their live audience. And they help you with marketing and promoting these talks. They have a following. Many of them have newsletters. So all of these people are coming to you, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do these talks. We don't necessarily think that you should lead with EFT. In fact, you might even want to leave the words EFT out of your free talks and directly target your niche. So it's a
Hello?
It sounds like we had a gap here. So,
I'm here.
Okay, So I kept hearing the anyway. But so we're back on. I don't think you lost me. So I was just chatting away about scheduling free talks and how important it is to not necessarily leave with the
heard one of them.
Oh, how funny! How funny. Okay, so the most important thing to do there is to get your message out to people in your community. And it's going to be one of the marketing tools that you use to really get yourself out there, especially in your community. And it doesn't take a lot. Now, I hear people say, "Oh, I live in the middle of nowhere." Yeah, so do we. We have 786 people in the town of Langley, and we have constant people referring to us that have come through our free talks. And they're either coming to see us or they've given out our card or our information to someone that they know that it'll be valuable for. So which brings us to number 3. You want to take that?
Sure. Okay. Number 3 is for the price of a cup of coffee, maybe a scone or something like that, take a professional out for a cup of coffee or tea. Somebody that's another healthcare professional, depending on your niche, right? So this is going to be niche specific. If you're working in any areas of health and well-being, and you happen to have, your husband, your wife, your child is seeing a massage therapist or an acupuncturist, give them a call and invite them out for a cup of coffee or a walk to just find out more about what they do and let them know more about what you do. That one price of that cup of coffee or the time that it took to take a walk is the cheapest way to potentially have a great source of referrals. And imagine if you did that twice a month. That every couple of weeks you did that, and over the course of 6 months or a year, you're talking resources that are huge in your community. So this is something that, it's a basically no budget, and that's you invite them, and they may even insist on paying for their own coffee. So it might be a zero expenditure for you other than your own cup. But this is the way to be able to speak with them, find out about what they do. We talk, again, a lot about this in the MBA program, about how to set that up, how to invite them, what to talk about, make sure that they're the focus of the conversation first, so then the conversation comes back around to you. But this is a great way to develop resources in your community, especially complementary fields that work in your niche, right?
Right, for sure. Okay, so I want to point out that number 1, number 2, number 3 are all about getting off the computer, getting off of the gadget and the device, and going out into the world and putting yourself out there. And so, yes, you are going to have to get over some blocks in terms of doing that. If you feel resistance, if you find that you're procrastinating, all that speaks to resolving some of the fears around this. But we will tell you, and we've said it again and again, that what happens online, it could be the most fantastic platform. It could be an amazing glittery object that's the hottest and the newest and the most really just fantastic tool you've ever seen there online. You still have to overcome a great deal of distrust and mistrust from the general public that don't know you from Adam. And what happens when you meet somebody face to face and you shake their hand and they see you and they see that you're a human being in a talk, even if it's not perfect, you have just done something to bridge that gap from stranger, I don't know you, you could be out for my money and I don't know because this is a place online, to, wow, I know this person. I know a little bit, I know more about this person, and I have some level of trust with them, and I'm ready to commit to doing work with them. So I just reiterating, number 1 and 2 and 3 require you to get off the computer and to connect with a real live human being, and you won't regret it.
Right on. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Next is 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Good. Not on the computer. Well, these are on the computer. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So at least number 4 is. Yep.
Okay. So number 4. Yeah, definitely number 4. Thank you. So we'll give you 1 on the computer. Start writing. Start blogging. You know, after with permission with a client that just stimulates an idea, or you read an article, or somehow you have something to say, and I hope you do, and you can get some help with writing if you need to, but start writing articles, and then submitting them and getting them online for enhancing, whether you're blogging on your own website and you're using it for SEO development, whether you're posting it on EFT sites, like EFT Universe has a great regular article place, a newsletter, or you're posting it on websites that have articles like, sorry, just went totally blank. Help me out. Like usearticles.com. There's so many of them out there. Find ways, make sure that you're submitting them and putting them on your Pinterest and your social media and other places you put it, but just start writing about the topics that you're interested in, even best specific to your niche, so that people start having a sense of you. I'm always amazed at how often we come in contact with a new student or somebody, and they're like, oh, my God, I've been following your stuff for years. And it's just like you never know how long they've been reading your work and following it, and it hasn't been the right time for them to interact with you yet. But this is just a way to reach a great and wide audience and have people know what you care about, what your specialty is, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yep. Yeah, I would say that is a fantastic way for to build search engine optimization, backlinking, all like you said, it's free, and you can also use it for things like to populate your blog and the content on your website. So it's a fantastic way to really market yourself very effectively through article writing. So yes. We have all of these great things, but we left the biggest for last.
We saved the biggie.
Save the biggie. Which is
biggie. What's the biggie? The biggie, the real biggie. Okay, it must be something to do with like the right magazine to take an article to put an ad in. Is that the biggie?
No. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid that it is doing your inner work and tapping to remove your blocks, to maybe writing, to meeting these professional people. What will they think of me? Giving a talk and how you stand in front of an audience and feel congruent with your message or not, or nervous about public speaking, or what if you're a perfectionist, which always leads to procrastination, and you can't get your business cards out because you think you're afraid that you'll select the wrong color. It has to be perfect. So doing the inner work is just the foundation for everything else that you do in your marketing, in your business. It is by far the most important component of really going forward. And I was sitting there with my book coach today, and I'm writing my book, and I was sharing some of so I'm writing a book on my specialty, on my niche, which is sex and EFT. And because I'm not going to give up this niche because it's interesting. I was asked that, not to digress too much, but I was asked, so you're working with EFT MBA students on and your business and success of your practice and all of that, and you still do the sex niche. And what I want to say about that is I want to lead by example. And so if all I did was jump on the success coach bandwagon and say, oh, that's what I do, then you really wouldn't get a clear picture of what it's like to see me go through and become and see how I've developed my niche as the sex and intimacy expert. So I will never give up that particular part of my work. I really love it. I have a passion for it. So I'm writing this book, and I was meeting with my coach today, and we were talking about some of the fascinating case studies that I have in the book that look like, so completely, the presenting issue is so completely different than what is at the root. And I can't stress enough that it's important for you to find those specific events and not just tap on even though I'm afraid of public speaking, or even though I'm afraid of putting myself out there, or even though I'm afraid I can't get it, I won't have the colors of my branding correct. None of that is going to get you to where you need to go to resolve these issues. You need to find where these fears are from, and most of the time they're significant emotional experiences or traumas from your past, from probably your childhood, which set up the foundation for your belief system. So not to get too far off topic, but it's important for us to say here that you can tap all day long on even though I'm afraid to put myself out there, or even though I don't think I'm good enough. You will not get the results that you're looking for until you start delving into things like your personal peace procedure and the specific events that happened to you in your life that created these belief systems and these blocks. So I just want to go on my little rant about that because it's so very important. Because because I've worked with people that sexual abuse or being abandoned in childhood has led to their business blocks. So I can't, there's no way that I can just come up with a tapping script to have that connection for you. It's just not going to happen. That's why you rarely see us do tapping scripts on this show, because we really don't believe in them. I think it's a jumping off point, and I think they're valuable in some situations, but you as an EFT coach should know better. I'll just say it like that. You know better. Go to those specific events. And if you can't deal with them or find them on your own, hire someone or swap sessions to find what they are. Anything you want to add, Craig?
No, I think that you really said it, that it really, that just finally the outer work, the outer manifestations, the outer things are going to depend so much on the inner first. So do the important stuff first. And we have that tendency to go to do all those doing things first, right? And we all know that, and we all know that, we know that, especially in this field. But we just have to, I think I do, hear it again and again when things either aren't working, they're not happening smoothly, they're not unfolding in this way where like connections are happening and serendipities are occurring. And it's like when that's not happening, go back to the inner work. What are you not doing inside? Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Good.
Yeah.